have some grievances. First of all, I want to point out that I am a huge One Piece fan, okay? I haven't been along for the entire ride, granted. But ever since picking it up, I have become obsessed with it. It is my absolute favorite anime, my absolute favorite show, and honestly, if Claymore didn't exist, it'd be my favorite manga too. One Piece is the GOAT. It is the best anime, the best media to come out ever in any country ever, not even just Japan, and I will fight you on this. So, as you can imagine, being the super fan that I am, I have several thoughts and several ideas, and the number one thing that I think makes me the angriest, the most upset, the most frustrated a fan can be, is when people say that a devil fruit is bad because the user was an idiot. That's right, there are so many instances where people say, oh, this fruit is bad, or oh, that fruit is awful. And no, it's not. The person using it is just an idiot. Now, part of this does admittedly have to do with the fact that as Oda has written One Piece, he has gotten more and more creative and had to come up with more different ideas, and this has forced him to come up with some admittedly pretty bad ones, but they've also gotten a lot better overall, in my opinion. A great example of this is the Bomu Bomu no Mi, or the Bomb Bomb fruit, used by Mr. 5. Now, in the anime, Mr. 5 is not very creative with this. Basically, all he does is he takes his pinky, sticks it up his nose, pulls out a booger, flicks it at you, and the booger explodes. Because every single part of his body can be used as an explosive. Now, I understand why there's certain things he didn't use this power for, like for example, making his fist explode when he punches somebody. That would probably be a bad idea, unless you know how to use armament hockey, because you're gonna blow up your own damn hand that way. So sure, that makes sense. Alright, forgivable. However, for anyone who's watched the live-action anime, and I do apologize in advance if you haven't, spoilers incoming, when we finally get to the part that Mr. 5 is in, and I believe it was Season 2 of the live-action, Mr. 5 actually takes some of his blood from a wound and splashes it on the enemy, which I think was Zoro at the time. I don't remember. I'll have to pull up the scene and actually rewatch it to be 100% sure. But the point is, he splashed his blood forward and made it explode because it's part of his body. It wasn't just his boogers. There was actually a level of creativity to how he used his fruit. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that the Bomu Bomu no Mi is like the next model Nika fruit. That's ridiculous. It's not. It's good. It's strong. It turns you into a bomb. And I do believe that with application, appropriate, well-trained application of armament hockey, you could throw Bakugo-style exploding punches. It would be pretty badass. Honestly, it would be really cool to see Mr. 5 come back post-time skip, or for somebody else to get his fruit, provided that he has perished. I guess, as far as we know, he haven't. There was a cover story where him and the other irrelevant Baroque members opened a cafe or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. But if he were to learn how to use armament hockey and cover his fist in armament hockey, or foot, or whatever other body part he wants to throw, if he wants to cover his shoulder in armament hockey and then tackle people into buildings, like that would work too. And then he'd have a whole new suite of exploding attacks that we have not seen before. Now, the thing is, a lot of people say that the Bomu Bomu no Mi, they don't say it's an awful fruit, right? Because even though the user is not creative and all he does is flick his boogers with it, it's still exploding boogers. They're still bombs. They still blow up, and on Little Garden, the Straw Hat struggled to overcome it. However, another devil fruit that they struggled to overcome on Little Garden was the Kilo Kilo fruit used by Mr. 5's partner. Miss Valentine is an idiot. She's an idiot. She's an absolute idiot, and she misused this fruit. She misused this devil fruit even worse than Mr. 5 misused the Bomu Bomu no Mi. How do I know this? Because you have the ability to increase your body weight up to, I believe it was a kilogram. I don't remember if there was a ceiling on it or if she just didn't train well enough to go above what the limit she stated was. But my point is, we have seen other devil fruit users use their fruit to transform only a part of their body, to affect only a part of their body. Now, the first ones that come to mind are ones like the Flame fruit or Captain Smoker's devil fruit, where they're Logia types, and their entire body is basically made up of that material or that element from the point they eat it forward. However, this does not apply only to Logia types. We have seen this with Paramecia types as well, including Katakuri and, well, I was going to say Luffy, but that's not a Paramecia. Another good example, okay, so other than Katakuri, a better example is Robin. Robin's devil fruit is a Paramecia type, and it allows her to replicate any of her body parts. However, she gets to choose what body parts, she gets to choose how many body parts, she gets to choose where they replicate at, and she can choose to retract them at any time. And additionally, she does not have to replicate her entire body. So, we know there is a foundation here for the fact that people with Paramecia-type devil fruits who have an ability that affects their body in one way or another do not have to choose to have it affect their entire body. This is where Miss Valentine's idiocy comes into play, because the only thing she ever used that devil fruit for was to increase her entire body mass. The whole thing, her entire body mass. Now, if we go back to what I said about Mr. Five's devil fruit, where he could cover his fist in armament hockey and throw exploding punches, let's apply that real quick to Miss Valentine, to the Kilo fruit. If she were to use armament hockey and cover her fist, she could then increase the weight of her fist and give it an even heftier punch. And you know what the best thing is? You don't even need to use armament hockey to get this effect. Yes, admittedly, if you did, it would be way stronger, it would be way more impactful, and you would get a much stronger punch out of it. But you do not need the armament hockey to get this effect out of the devil fruit. You simply choose to make your fist way more instead of your everything like a dumbass, and, you know, just make sure you don't make it weigh so much that your own wrist is going to snap under the weight of your punch. Maybe, I don't know, double it. Do some training to make sure you have enough muscle mass to actually handle the impact of the punch. And boom, there you go. Like a magic fucking kiss, you've got denser punches, you've got punches that you can throw harder, all because you ate a magical fruit. You're getting like a shit ton more power without the actual power training. You do, admittedly, have to put some durability training into using this ability, but you are cutting the amount of training you have to do effectively in half. As far as I know, I'm not a physician, I could be wrong. But the point is, you do not have to make your entire body weigh more. And even if you did, even if you do have to use the devil fruit on your entire body, guess what? Your fists are part of your body. Your fists, your feet, your head, your shoulders, again, like you can... She's so stupid. She's so stupid. She misused the devil fruit. And you know what? There's another devil fruit down the line in Dressrosa called the Tun fruit, used by Mach-Vice, who's the same brand of idiot. Same brand of idiot. He does the same thing. He just floats in the air and is like, oh, I'm heavy now, and drops on people. And that's all he does with it, and it's infuriating. It's the same damn fruit as the Kilo fruit, only stronger, and he makes the same stupid mistakes. And the most infuriating part about Mach-Vice is he has an advantage that Miss Valentine doesn't. He is in Doflamingo's goddamn crew. He knows what hockey is. He's seen armament hockey. There are multiple members of the crew who are capable and more than happy to train him in how to use some goddamn armament hockey. But does he do that? No. Does he use armament hockey to cover his fist in metal and punch somebody with a fucking 2,000 pound fist? No. No, he doesn't. Waste of space. This guy right here. Waste of space. Get rid of him. I don't know why. I don't know why Doflamingo has him on the crew. I really don't. He's useless. He's even more useless than Miss Valentine, which is saying something. So, rant aside, now that I have gone off about fictional pirate fruits, if you enjoyed listening to this random rant I decided to post this week instead of a video game, let me know. I got plenty more opinions where this one came from. I, however, am not a One Piece historian. I am not a One Piece Pokedex. I do not know everything. I can be wrong. I have been wrong, and guess what? I will be wrong. It happens. I'm not perfect, but I got a passion. This is my fandom. These are my people. This is my shit. I love One Piece. I love talking about One Piece. And if you like this, you want to hear more, let me know. Comment down below. Thank you so much for listening, especially if you got this far into my angry devil fruit rant. Fucking dumbass Miss Valentine. Well, yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and, bye!